Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gita, chapter 2, text 14, Sanskrit verse. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukhada agama payino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. Translation. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception or sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Purport. In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non-permanent appearances and disappearances of happiness and distress. According to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even during the month of Magh, January, February. It's very cold at that time, but in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen in the months of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconveniences. Similarly, to fight is a religious principle of the Kshatriyas, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge, because by knowledge and devotion only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya, illusion. The two different names of address given to Arjun are also significant. To address him as Kaunteya signifies his great blood relations from his mother's side, and to address him as Bharata signifies his greatness from his father's side. From both sides, he is supposed to have a great heritage. A great heritage brings responsibility in the matter of proper discharge of duties. Therefore, he cannot avoid fighting. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Matra sparshas tu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukhada, agama payino nityas, tam stitikshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception or sign of Bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Hare Krishna. The current age that we are living in is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is characterized by degradation and deterioration of values, degradation of moral principles, and decadence. Decadence means things are at such a low level everywhere. Degradation, deterioration, and decadence is everywhere in Kali Yuga. Previously, people followed a dharmic way of life. People followed Shastra. Against any form of difficulty, they will follow. They did their duty according to Varna and Ashram. What was their particular duty according to their psychophysical nature? They did that duty. It was determined by Brahmanas, gurus, leaders of society. And when people did the duty according to their psychophysical nature, they were happy, they were not disturbed. Everyone was happy, everyone was peaceful. That was before. People upheld Vedic truths. To stand up for something, you really need to believe it. Parikshit Maharaj, he stood up to the personality Kali when he was attacking the cow. So, Mother Earth in the form of a cow. So, Parikshit Maharaj challenged him. He tried to stop that. He stood up for Vedic principles. Now, people won't do that. They're not so convinced about Vedic principles to try to uphold Vedic truths. They're not so motivated like before. A simple thing like tilak. Tilak on the forehead, people would wear tilak. And it was strange to see someone without tilak. I heard from someone. He grew up in Tamil Nadu. He said that in the whole, when he was young, he was going to school, everyone had tilak. And to not have tilak was something strange, to look strange. But now, to wear tilak is something strange. What is wrong with him? Why is he wearing tilak? Troublemaker. Why can't he be like everyone else? What does he think of himself? He's trying to prove some point. Many things come to mind if someone wears tilak. Now, previously it was something normal. Everyone understood. And wearing the feet of God on the forehead, a sign of submission, sign of surrender to God, religiosity. Also previously, if someone did not know about Mahabharata or Ramayana, or could not engage in some conversation from any part of that book, that was considered something strange. But now, to bring up a topic of Mahabharata or Ramayana in any discussion of philosophy or religiosity or law, that would be considered strange. So we can see Kali Yuga everything has turned upside down, and it is not a good situation. Deterioration. So now people do not follow dharma now. People don't follow as they used to. As our parents followed, grandparents, they don't follow. Why? Why don't people follow dharma? Why aren't people following? People know what is dharma, what we should do, what we should eat, what we should study, how we should live. People know that. Not that they don't know. But why aren't they following? Why don't they want to follow it? This is the reason. It's not so easy to follow dharma, dharmic principles. Because by nature, this material body has so many demands. You have to deny it to be dharmic. Body anyway will demand all kind of things, but somebody who is dharmic will reject it. He won't give in. Someone wants to follow properly. But now, people are not rejecting demands of the body. We have different senses, then we have our mind, known as the sixth sense, 5 senses plus the mind. They're all demanding, and people are just giving what the mind wants. And that no one is stopping it. Why aren't they stopping? Why aren't we saying, shall I do this? This is what I want to do, but shall I do it or not? We are not stopping. Why aren't we stopping? Agyan, due to ignorance. We don't have knowledge now. We don't have knowledge to understand what is good for us, what is not good. People are in darkness of ignorance at the moment. As Srila Prabhupada would say, that people cannot understand what a hellish condition awaits them just for killing one single cow. Shastra says that one has to take birth and suffer a hellish life as many times as there are hairs on the body of the cow. This is serious, very serious. But it's not that people are killing one cow, one after the other. And you may say, no, they're not killing, but they're eating. Okay, so they're implicit in the crime. So due to ignorance, people are committing sin. Due to ignorance, they're not denying the desires of the body, even though it's sinful. And because of that, they have to pay a heavy price. Heavy price has to be paid. This knowledge is missing. So previously people were given knowledge. They had knowledge, so with that they could make a difference. They could make a decision. This is what I want to do. I should do this. They knew that. That was a great motivation. But not at present. At present people are not having that knowledge. And so they are no better than small kids who do something wrong. A small kid will just stamp on an ant. He doesn't understand. This is not correct. Why are you killing? Or a small kid will just go and take something that's not offered to Krishna, that's going to be offered, not yet offered, for Naivedya. They'll just take it, and that is not considered, that's considered wrong. But they'll just do that. They don't have that knowledge, like a child. So similarly, a person now in Kali Yuga is like a child in that term. They don't understand when to sleep, when to eat, when to wake up, how to deal with men, how to deal with women. They don't know these things. And due to this ignorance, they're not having motivation to follow dharma. So I was saying it's not easy to follow dharma. It's not easy because demands of the body are there. And we have to stop that. We have to give that up. If we understood what is the result of following dharma, we understood, for example, that by following dharma, what does it lead to? It leads to happiness. It leads to higher knowledge. It leads to liberation. Because it's the natural propensity of the soul. It's natural to live according to the Vedas, to serve God. Here, what Prabhupada writes in the purport, what is the result? If Arjuna was to do his duty, one has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge. Because by knowledge and devotion only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya. By knowledge only can we elevate ourselves. By knowledge and devotion can we liberate ourselves from the clutches of Maya. So one has to follow prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles. When we say here knowledge, rise to the platform of knowledge, what does that mean? Gyan. Gyan means knowledge, realization that I am the soul, not the body. This is what we mean by Gyan. In this context. What happens when you realize I'm a soul, I'm not the body? Here. One can liberate himself from clutches of Maya. Then we'll not be wantonly, rushing to satisfy this body. I'm not the body. So that realization has to come. How can we realize I'm not the body? How can I realize that? That's the beginning. That will be very simple then. If I can, then I'll be able to engage on the spiritual platform. I have knowledge, but not realization. So how to get it? It's given here. One has to follow prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles. Then what happens? Our identification with the body slackens. Soul, we identify as a soul. And therefore these were prescribed. Okay, one can do bhakti. But for mass of people, it will be difficult. But if they follow their swadharma abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. Yata praviti bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swadharma abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. The all-pervading transcendence. If one does their duty, swadharma abhyarchya, and with their duty serves God, siddhim vindati manavaha. He'll attain perfection. One can attain perfection. So with that knowledge, people did their duty. They had that knowledge that if I do my duty in Varna and Ashram, I'll come to a higher state of existence, high level of knowledge. High level of knowledge means as soon as I rise above body platform, then immediately body, that strong attraction of body to other body relations, that slackens. And also that desire to satisfy the body, all the things relating to the body, they begin to fade. If I simply get deeper knowledge and realization that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So, by doing our duty, that will happen. Follow the prescribed duties. Previously, the gurus, the brahmanas, leaders of society, they will prescribe, they will give the people their prescribed duty, and people will follow it, understanding that if I follow this, I'll come to a high level of knowledge, peace and happiness. But now, no knowledge. People don't have knowledge. So, they're not following it. They prefer just to watch TV and eat. What do they eat? Kurkure. Whole day sitting and what will you do? What will that do? Our death is coming. Death is coming. And what will happen after that? People don't have knowledge. So they're happy sitting like that. Living like cats and dogs. Wasting every second of life. Ayur harati vaipum sam udyan ashchan chayana. So sun every day is rising, setting, taking away our days. Our days, we are not going to live eternally. We are not going to live forever. So plan the day, plan the life. We are not given eternal life right now. We have a short time to change everything. So because people don't have knowledge, they cannot fix in dharma. And what will happen, what will not happen? What is the result of following, what is the result of not following? Because of the not having that knowledge, they easily give up the path, and then they'll have to really suffer. Happy life, chance for liberation, higher consciousness, result of following dharma. And in the course of following the dharma, when difficulties came, people tolerated it. Supposing if we are told that I want to give 1 lakh into your account, a relative says, I'm giving it to you, not in your account, you can come and collect it at my house. So I open the door, it starts to rain. Oh, rain came, I cannot come. It's raining. Really? Will someone do that? I leave that 1 lakh because it's raining. I cannot walk in the rain. No. So what about if Bhagavad-gita class is there? And rain comes. Oh, it's raining, I can't go. I'll get wet. People don't understand because they understand the value of that money. Okay, this money is there, such a value. Okay, do you understand the value of Gita? What will do? What happened to Arjun? Arjun got liberated. He became free from Maya, Nashta Moho. Arjun attained Krishna consciousness. Arjun did not take birth again. He returned to Param Padam, eternal abode. So Krishna is telling Arjun, you don't want to fight because of some difficulty, you have to tolerate it. When the time comes to do our dharma, and there's some difficulty comes, some bodily problem, mental, emotional, physical, tolerate. Because what is the result? Actually, that's the problem. We don't know the result of practicing. We don't know what is the goal of following and reading this knowledge. That's the problem actually. Otherwise people will tolerate, but then they're not able to tolerate. Previously how people would sit hours and hours and hours sitting hearing. Now Acharya of our modern age, Srila Prabhupada, will give lectures only 30-40 minutes. He understood that people won't get it. But his guru gave 3-4 hours, Bhaktisiddhanta. 3-4 hours, not on the chair, on the floor. People sit, no AC. You know, Bengal in the summer. Kolkata or Orissa, where he was, it's hot. People sat and heard because they understood what will happen if I sit and hear this, and I understand it and I realize it and I follow. What will be the result? Gyan. People had knowledge, that much understanding they have. But if they don't have that understanding, we'll just give up dharma. So I could do dharma, or I could go to Uti, or I can go to Goa, or I'll go to the ISKCON. It's not on the same level. Actually, we have to go to ISKCON. We have to go and study knowledge. We have to spend our time in the temple. But people don't understand. So they're not tolerating the difficulty. But people understood, whatever difficulty I'm getting, let me tolerate it. Because that difficulty is nothing compared to what will come if I don't do this. That will be very difficult situation. If we die without attaining Krishna consciousness, we have to be in the womb upside down 8 months. And we're given the Shakti to tolerate. Otherwise, as Prabhupada said, a grown man would die in that situation. But we're given the Shakti to tolerate. So what is the difficulty? Tolerating something to learn Bhagavad-gita, or to go to or to change a few things in our life to become Krishna conscious. That difficulty is nothing compared to difficulty we have to face. If we don't do it, that is difficult. Kali Yuga is progressing day by day. What we have to face. So, why aren't people following? Why won't they tolerate and practice? Here, like Arjun, he had to do his duty. He's not doing it. Why not? Because when obstacles come, they just fall away. They're not able to face the obstacles. Obstacles could be family, could be culture, could be health, or for some people, mind, no willpower basically. Okay, so people won't make the effort to follow. But try to notice that something which is even harmful for them, they will make all effort to do that, like smoking cigarettes and alcohol. The problem is not that they don't have willpower. They'll do it. But they, as I said, they're not convinced that this is the thing we have to do. But people today are in ignorance. They don't have knowledge that this is what we have to follow. Otherwise, all their determination will go there. Same determination that they're having, that come what may, we're going to build this skyscraper building, or we'll build our big palatial house for the family. We'll do it, whatever obstacle comes. They have determination, but for the wrong thing, because they're in darkness. In the present age, Krishna has left. Well, he didn't really leave. He can never leave actually. Krishna swadharma bhagate dharma jnana divisaha. It says when he left, dharma went, jnana went. People are in darkness. No knowledge what is dharma, and no knowledge of jnana. Knowledge. Basically jnana. As in soul. No knowledge that I'm a soul, I'm not the body. So this knowledge is absent. And no dharma. Krishna has departed. So that knowledge is not there, and that idea of religion is not there. So now people are able to do something which will make them suffer, and they don't realize. Meat eating, suffering. The people are in darkness, they don't understand this is wrong. Meat eating, intoxication. First of all, forget next life, suffering, animal will kill you. Do you understand that meat gives cholesterol? People in the Vedic age, they were intelligent. They even want to enjoy and do sense gratification. They knew how to do it. Eating meat is not a way to enjoy, it's a way to die early. Biggest killer, this I knew, because when I went to college, I noticed so many people are vegetarians. These people, they're not born vegetarians, they're not Hindus, they're not Indians, these are Westerners, So these people, I was shocked. How come these people are vegetarians? Well, what is the reason? So I began to see, study, and then I read some books. I was shocked. What is the result? Result is, for example, it said that it said in America, what is the biggest killer in America? It said, biggest killer in America is heart disease. People getting heart disease, stroke, heart attack. This is the biggest killer. Okay? And what is the biggest cause of heart disease? Cholesterol. What is the biggest source of cholesterol? Red meat. So basically people are eating themselves to death. I thought, what a I'm taking a knife and putting in my own body. Why should you do that? So this is due to the darkness. People are now doing things that will kill themselves. They don't have this knowledge. They don't have we are not talking about next life, you eat, you'll meat, you'll suffer. But this life, you eat meat, you're going to die an early death. You're going to get problems with your body. Okay, intoxication also kills brain cells. They say smoking marijuana kills brain cells. People smoking 5-10 years, brain cells are dying. They're not able to, you can't have intellectual capacity after some time. I think alcohol also, I'm not sure. Doctor will say. So, another thing, not teaching moral and spiritual principles to children. People in darkness, they don't know how to live because of this age of Kali. So now, children are brought up on these smartphones, TVs. Okay, what is the result? What is the result of that? So children grow up pretty dumb, this number one. When I was in college, our lecturer told us every year more and more dumb people are coming in this course. He's a very open person. He told us we used to teach very high things here. We cannot. Every year we're making it less. When people are, whatever they're doing in their life, they're not so intelligent anymore. So children growing up on these phones, looking at the cartoons, before they were not like that. They were told, can you go and pick the paddy, remove the weeds. That much intelligence a kid has, he can do that. Go, they'll give them some chore in the farm. Go and do this, go and do that. And very responsible village kids. They'll go and do things. They had that, But now, people are bringing up kids in this way, simply on TVs and smartphones, not exercising the brain, not very intelligent, that's one thing. But what else happens? That they grow up without moral or spiritual principles. They become demons, basically. Parents' idea is kids should have a good degree, good job, money, house, happy family life, that's all. This is not human life. It is basic civilization. Human life means using the human mind for highest topics of self-realization. Simply eating, living nicely, this is not culture. So idea of family is that kids should get a good degree, good job, and all these things. What's the result? Result is depression. How can a kid be happy? I got all the material things, but who am I? I can't understand. Why was I born? Who am I? And that can be very disturbing. You lose all motivation to do anything. So, people don't know the result of what they're doing. Bringing up kids like that, no moral principles, no spiritual guidance. So result is this, you bring up people full of depression, stress, violent. They're violent. Why are they so violent? Because they're disturbed inside their heart. They're disturbed. They bully other people. This ragging problem, it's not coming from someone strong, it's coming from weakness. People who are weaker, more disturbed. So, no understanding, and then finally what happens? Finally they'll take that parent who brought them up on the tab and on the TV and with the degree, and they'll put the parent in the old age home. No emotion. Kid couldn't spend time with the child and explain him simple things about life. Fine, no emotion. Child will simply put him in old age home and go. Probably the parent did the same thing, and child is watching. And that parent, he's putting child, put his parent in the old age home, and the kid is watching. That's what we're meant to do. Then his time comes. And this is culture today. So why don't parents bring up kids dharmically? Why don't they do that properly? Well, here in this verse, Arjun knew his duty. I have to fight, but I'm not doing. Why? He has to suffer distress of killing. My family, I can't kill my family. I'll kill on the battlefield, but not my uncles, my fathers, my brother. I can't do that. I can't. That distress will be there. But Krishna is saying, no, you have to tolerate that. You have to do the duty. So parents, they can bring up their kids dharmically. They can. But they're not doing. Why? It's difficult. It's not easy. You have to make sure every step that the child, you have to mold his thinking. Actually, no one is doing that nowadays. They're not molding their children's thinking. They put their kids on, watch some cartoon or something, and then that's more. But from young age, Vedic culture was you teach them how to think, how to walk, and their response to everything. For example, bring them in the temple by force, dandavat, small 2-year-old kid, dandavat. Put their head, okay, get up. This is what you're meant to do. Sadhu came, you're meant to do pranam. Respect, everything they're taught. So parents don't want to take trouble. They don't want to take trouble. Neither do now youth want to take trouble. That let me try and understand what is this body, what is this world. I don't. It's too much trouble. Let me just drift in life, use my senses and enjoy. That's easier. It's easy. You don't have to think. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, but do you understand the result of that? What is the result? Tragedy. It's I don't know. What adjectives? Catastrophic. Tragic, hazardous. Thank you. We can use all these adjectives. What will happen without Krishna consciousness? There's one anecdote that Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning, when the first few people came to him, one was Umapati Prabhu. I forgot his name before. So he came. There's beginning stages. Now he's a Maharaj. So he came in, and he's narrating this. That I came in and I met Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada had a look of like compassion looking at us. And we just came in, casually heard what he's saying, taking prasad, but his face was looking like you look at someone who's just been run over by a car and is about to die, how you, poor guy. He's looking at us with so much compassion. So then Prabhupada was preaching to us, and then he's saying that, he gave me a dhoti and kurta. I said, wear this. And I got alarmed. I cannot wear this. And I got little bit, let me leave here. I'm going to leave because he's giving me dhoti. I just came to hear Gita, now they're giving me dhoti kurta. So he gave back, he said, I cannot do this. And then he said he was walking out, and then Prabhupada said, wait, come back. And he said the way he said that, he was in tears, he was crying. He was in tears. He was in tears because he's saying, this fellow, he came to Krishna, he's going, what will happen to him? So that I heard this, memories of Prabhupada. That Prabhupada was in tears, he turned, he saw, and he saw tears in Prabhupada, he was crying, he's leaving. He's leaving because I don't wear dhoti. And so what happened? He said that same day I went out, and maybe he said like this, maybe it was some kind of reaction, but some thieves attacked me and beat me almost to death. So, Srila Prabhupada's, he understood, but this others didn't understand what we have to do, how, they're not taught. And so nowadays people don't have this knowledge because they're making all the wrong choices. Here Arjun's making a wrong choice. He has to fight. He thinks, no, it'll be better I don't fight right now. This is my family. I'll not kill my family, I'll get in distress. No. Actually, Krishna is telling him, you're better off doing that and doing your duty. Why? It says here, in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge. Because by knowledge and devotion, one can liberate himself from clutches of Maya. So, follow the prescribed duties and regulations. We have to follow. It takes more time, more energy, more effort to do that. For a child to instill dharma in their child, for a parent to instill in their child, it takes energy, it takes time, and people don't want to do that. Just let what he wants, let him do, and then put him in the school, earn money, send the money. That's okay, all right, what you do, what you want. You can smoke drugs. One very senior devotee told me that when he joined ISKCON, parents were so upset about it. And finally he told his parents one day, look, at least I'm not having alcohol and drugs, why are so much again? I'm not having alcohol, I'm not having drugs. I'm worshipping God. And they said, without thinking, better you take alcohol, drugs than do that. And he said, that second I understood. Actually, it's not for my welfare. They just want me to fit in. And so he said, then I walked out. Okay, I'm not recommending this for everyone, but this is a true story. That people don't want to take time and bring up kids or themselves. I have to, for me to come to a high level of knowledge and follow good sadhana to come to spirituality, I have to start to analyze my mind and my consciousness. It's difficult. Why shall I do that? So I'll take some half Krishna consciousness, this much I'm comfortable, okay, that's it. I don't want to, it's difficult. So that's for the obstacle is there, so people won't do it. Because of the obstacle, they don't want to put more effort. But as I said, they don't have knowledge, they don't have gyan. Krishna is giving gyan to Arjuna, and later on he'll give that. If you don't fight, what will happen? You understand? So if we don't follow Krishna consciousness, what will happen? If you bring up your children without instilling these values, what will happen? We cannot imagine. It will be suffering. You know, we can imagine if you see, like some of our friends who are sending these suffering videos. Practically hell on earth. Prabhupada said he's discussing about hellish planets. So he starts to discuss about, actually that's in third canto, Lord Kapila's teachings. So Lord Kapila is discussing about hellish planets. He says practically some situations on this planet we become hellish if we are born. We suffer greatly. So much suffering that people literally either go mad or traumatized, not normal. So Arjun did not have knowledge here. He was acting on level of body, soul, apparently, because he is a pure devotee. He was acting on level of body and soul. Body and mind. And so he was making a wrong decision. He didn't have that knowledge. So Krishna is telling Arjun, he'll say, and then the next verse here, he'll give him that knowledge, that if you have this knowledge, this is the knowledge you have to see and take note that this is not what you should do. But I'm suffering, I will suffer, my relatives will be killed. How can you live like that? Tam stitikshasva bharata. Krishna said, tolerate. If I'm going to take the path of dharma, I'm going to suffer some temporary suffering. It says here, the non-permanent appearance. Non-permanent means temporary. Temporary. Why are you concerned about something temporary that will come and go? You're making a big decision which will affect your whole life. Temporary disturbance, mental, physical. So Arjun knew actually his duty. He knew it. But he could not do it. He could not do it. He didn't have that will. He didn't have that knowledge. So Krishna told him, this is the knowledge. That this is what you have to do. This is it. Do it. Then he did it. Same Arjun, same Gandiva bow, same position he was. In the beginning he didn't want to do his duty. Later he did it. He got the knowledge. He got knowledge by which he understood this is what I should do. It's difficult. It causes some temporary suffering. No doubt. But in the long run, I'll be happy, society will benefit, everything will be. Best thing is Krishna will be pleased. When Krishna is pleased, everything. Yasmin tushte, jagat tushte. They're different versions. If he is pleased, everyone is pleased. So please Krishna. Yeah, but my relatives won't be pleased. Or I'll not be pleased. Yeah, but Krishna is pleased. And that's our duty, to please Krishna. So Krishna told him, Tam titikshasva bharata, tolerate. It will be difficult. Many times I tell this story that I was with someone from the West who had to learn Tamil. So we were in Tamil Nadu, and a teacher used to come and teach us. And he used to come no matter what, he'll come every day. Difficult situation, holiday, public holiday, section 144, whatever, he'll just come and teach. One day there was very heavy rain, something like a cyclone. We boarded up the windows, trees were making noise, and then we thought no one is going to come in this weather. Then after some time, who came? Who's come in this weather? We opened the door. Teacher, why you came? Why did you come? Trees are falling on the road. People park their car. Why did you come? And he said one word, 3 words. It's my duty. Then I was thinking, I read so much about people following dharma, He's following dharma, we should follow dharma. I'm talking about following dharma. How much am I going to follow? But this simple teacher, villager, and nothing to do with religion. What happened was, the college that he was, we went to just meet that principal one day. She called the Tamil teacher and said, listen, teacher, this person is from the West. He's come here to teach Bhagavad-gita. It's our duty to teach him Tamil. Don't take any money. He said, okay. Do it because if he learns, he'll spread the dharma. That's what he came for. Okay. So he opened, I told her, it's my duty to come. I thought, yeah, but it's raining. It's a difficult situation. So that concept is not there today. that we for dharma will do such a level of sacrifice and apply ourselves and not think about the temporary loss that will. No, people don't have that simple, but it was trained from beginning. But why? Actually, he did it because he had deep understanding about his duty, why we should do it. Okay, this is some kind of mundane example, but I'm making a point that through that knowledge that Krishna gave Arjun, he went on to fight a war and kill everyone. He understood that. We should understand. We tolerate so much for sense gratification. If we are told, okay, I'm going to get a job interview in Uttarakhand, and here I'm in Bangalore, I'll go. I'll not think, shall I go? I'll go, definitely. Do the job interview. Get it, get the, whatever. If we're told, now here there's a Bhagavad-gita class happening, where 15-minute walk, it's so far, I'm not going. So, but for our sense gratification, we are ready to do it, but not for Krishna. So, we can do it, people can do it, but they don't have that knowledge. They don't understand that we should do. Kali Yuga, no knowledge. But really, what is result of not practicing this? If we understood, we'll take it very, very dhriddhavrat, with determination, we'll take it. Not some small obstacle. No small obstacle should block us. You can imagine what was Srila Prabhupada's realization. What he did. He crossed the ocean. He arrived in a country not knowing anyone, not without money. Can you do that? Land in a foreign country, no money, not knowing where you'll go, what you'll do. So that level of knowledge has to come. For anything we want, we have to tolerate. If you want to do a degree, you have to tolerate. I prefer to do this and that. No, do the degree, study, get it. We'll do it, we'll tolerate. We'll do anything for that. Whatever we want to get the job interview, do whatever they say, please them, keep the job, whatever the boss says, I listen, keep the job. But if some spiritual guide says something, he's speaking rudely to me. But we tolerate from the karmis, from the boss, from the materialists, we tolerate hellfire for money, or whatever, benefit. So temporary difficulties, don't let that stop our Krishna consciousness. Dharma, don't let it stop. People won't tolerate, but for Krishna consciousness, we have to tolerate, just tolerate anything. Because what did Krishna say? Matra sparshas tu konteya. Matra sparshas, he says that. Translation, it arises from sense perception. It's only sense perception. We say difficulty, okay, everyone can look at me now. Hare Krishna. Sense perception, matra sparshas tu konteya. When we say, I'm suffering, I can't do this, what are we suffering? Some bodily difficulty, hot, cold, hunger, thirst. Matra sparshas tu konteya. Sense perception, it's not really suffering. It's just the body. Body undergoing some change. Oh, mind is also body. I'm separated from some loved ones, temporary, some suffering comes, just tolerate. Nothing is permanent. Even so-called family arrangement is not permanent. Nothing is, in this material world, everything is temporary. So, we can just tolerate it as Arjun tolerated. He fought, in the end he fought. So for us in our practice of Krishna consciousness, chanting, reading daily, taking prasadam, small sacrifice, small. Otherwise in Satya Yuga, what were they doing? They had 100,000 years lifespan, 40,000 years of dhyana, close eyes and just sit like that. In Treta Yuga they did homam, not one day, it went for days. Dwapar Yuga, different, now simply follow these simple rules. Stay in your situation. Sthane sthita shruti katham tanuvanu. Stay in your situation. Follow these simple things. It's difficult, tolerate it. What is the difficulty? Tolerate it. Just do it. Just do it, because what is if we don't do it, whatever you're suffering now from doing, that is much more, the result. So you can notice that Krishna is starting to speak Gyan. He'll speak about Bhagavad-gita and Dharma and so many topics. But right in the beginning he's saying, tolerate. So now he's going to speak so many things. How will we follow it? How will we do it? Tolerate it, tolerate. Do it. Now I'm going to speak to you Bhagavad-gita and how are you going to follow it? You have to tolerate the difficulties that arises by following it. Right in the beginning. Establishing a principle here. Hare Krishna. Any question?
So, when it becomes too much intolerable,
Yes.
what to do? How to?
When the situation becomes very much intolerable, when the question comes of difficulties in practicing, it always stems from some kind of bodily conception, too much bodily conception. Even somebody who is practicing suddenly finds difficulty and disturbance. It's because we came down to the bodily conception more. So simply we have to intensify our bhakti. Intensify the chanting, reading, spend time among devotees, spend time in a dham, kirtan. The thing is that we have to just apply ourselves deeper into the process and seek some guidance. Maybe there's some particular thing you can adjust to improve it. Some senior devotee can tell you. But a lot of things, I heard this from one sannyasi in ISKCON, that a lot of things, he was saying, that many things that people wrote to Prabhupada, this problem, that problem, Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna. He's not just saying like a joke, we say, chant Hare Krishna. That's the solution. Chant, and at least for me, reading Bhagavad-gita, just open the pages and read. When we sit down and read, we are directly associated with Prabhupada. One Prabhupada disciple said, that he said that in this material world, actually everyone is mad. We're in a very precarious situation with all these mad people. And sometimes we are becoming mad. We can't understand what to do, what not to do. He says, but when I open Prabhupada's books, so much sense and proper guidance is there. And I feel at comfort. Then when I close again, I feel the madness. Then I open again. So he said, don't close the book. Just keep reading. Keep meditating on it. Revise. So you answer to your question. When it's intolerable, how to face the situation. Intensify your chanting. Basically do chanting. Okay. If you're not chanting, chant. And also reading. Reading we should read basically.
So regarding reading, Tulsipati Prabhu, he told me one incident of Lomanchit Prabhu. He reads a lot. He wakes up by 2 o'clock early in the morning and reads till. So he was telling once he stopped.
Maybe don't take names. Okay, you already did. All right. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was reading. He was not reading because of services, and he asked him, "What should I do?" Then he told him that you brush your teeth. No, you just brush 1 minute late and use that time for reading. So that much atomic focus, small micro times we can take out and read. Then second thing, bro, in one lecture of Maharaj, do we have to take drugs? That lecture is there.
Yeah.
So in that, the disciple of Maharaj was too much addicted to various types of drugs. He gives a comment that when we take drugs, it's basically we see our pious credits, punyas, coming together in a concentrated way and getting vanquished. So that is the bliss we feel, the high that we feel. It's basically our punya is getting extinguished. The same is happening for all other four regulative principles. And one more comment was that cardiovascular disease is not America's number one death killer. It's world's number one killer.
Number one killer of
That
human
suicide
beings.
comes
Is heart disease is the biggest killer.
And then
So
suicide also comes.
yeah, so I give example that's one simple thing. When I understood that this is something that is killing, so why should I take it? stop it. That through knowledge we are able to do some tapasya. So similarly, other things we are not able to do. If we read deeper, that knowledge will come, that I have to do this. Whatever it is, sometimes are difficult for in Krishna consciousness. Not everyone can do everything, or they take time. But if you just realize the philosophy, you'll realize that actually doing everything at once, this is the thing I have to do. Yeah, so that's the point I was using. Through knowledge we could stop eating meat, so through knowledge we could apply ourselves deeper into dharma and overcome any obstacles, as Arjun did. Nice. Any other? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai.